Good morning. Welcome to The Truth is Funny. That's my new jingle. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Transformation Talk Network. I said it sounds almost like I just love the way it makes me laugh every time I listen to it because my announcer sounds, I said, like Eric Snowden announcing the tactics. He's been on social media a lot lately from Russia, I guess. I don't know. So this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny. We're live on Facebook. I'm sorry, I just laughed and laughed when I listened to my jingle. Thank you. Stella, the co-host, has been here and she's been purring away, but she said, I don't know if I like the new jingle, I'm leaving. She thought we were doing face yoga. So I want to welcome you to the show. And normally I've had to mix things up a little bit because I've been so busy getting all the new programs on, and I'm just so pumped today. I'm so excited. This is like the best day ever, and it's only like 8 in the morning, but I've been up for quite some time. I am so excited that that we're launching Baby Steps. In 30 days, I found that it's small little bites of information, and I'm working on the video with it. And I broke down information in that. I call it my signature program because it is like what I feel like in 28 days, you can form a habit or let go of a habit. And so I modeled it so that I gave it 30 days because I like threes. And also the first day is for intro, the last day is for exit. And I'm so excited about it. It took us a while to find a platform that I felt that would work really well for doing the face yoga, for doing the energetic upgrade seminars, the call to dance. And then also I have my official Modern Day Dragon Sayers that that will be up in September. So my issue is never, oh, what am I going to say about this or that? I had, I think 12 or 1300 pages of information that I've been going through and correlating for this to be able to put into a solid program. And honestly, at first I didn't know if I could do it and have fun doing it. And I thought, well, I don't want to be doing this if it's not fun. And you know, like, and in a way that I can interact. And I love it now. I love the idea that I can take a little bite of information that takes maybe a 5-minute video. You watch it, I energetically do some work with you, and then the homework is coloring in pictures. And a lot of them, that may seem very simple, but when you're doing that, if you're coloring in and you're integrating the information that we're doing, you can do your coloring in as I'm speaking. And then you probably would be able to get it done in 15 minutes, get your assignment to me, and then you get the next day. And so that's my intro program. And I'm like, so then people can go on whenever they want. And they just go on to they come to me. I don't have to send anything. And then I can support it with lectures, and I can support it with Facebook Lives like this one, but this one's for the radio. So I'm just like, everything's falling into place. I have a new jingle. And like, I just want to show you something, because I talk about this, how, you know, how do you, in times like these, like when you feel kind of like you're right down on the floor and you've been knocked to your very knees, like you're down, and how do you get back up and be excited about life and excited about work and excited about everything when we've all been through so very much? And so this baby steps, you'll be able to see that. The landing page will be complete by today, and I'll get it to my team. At first, of course, I wanted to bring this program out all in its glory, perfection. But there's just so much. And with the technology changing in that, I want to be able to test it. And I'm just really, really happy. The other one, this is my foundation program. And see, this is how I work. So this is the first half of the foundation program. And I have the second half done. And I have the first half of official modern day dragon sayers done like that. I'm a very, I tend to be a little dyslexic. So I tend to do things, I have to do them by paper. I have to. And quite often people will come to my home and I'll have paper everywhere, like posted everywhere, all over my house. And that's how I learn. My next venture is going to be French. And I'm just going to post how to read French. And, just by putting them around the house, just because I'm that bored with the lockdown. No, but so I really feel like it's important because I talk about this, like putting consistency. I've had this radio show for 8 years, and I'm kind of changing it up a little bit now because honestly, I'm just tired of talking. I would rather work with people and show them a little bit more, like how when when I teach a seminar, is to have, you're all welcome to call in and we can take an issue like we have been, but that is something that I really want to focus on. I will continue to have guests on. I just didn't feel, when I found out that one of my former students is launching her book, and I think it's this weekend. So big, big hug to you and lots of warmth and happiness. I think it was 2 weeks ago I had Anna on because and she wrote a children's book. It was her second one, and she's got it out there. So she came on the radio show, and I really wanted to give her an opportunity to talk about that. And then Karen had her show, and now this, I'm having this one. So normally I would have a guest, and then I'll have nuggets of wisdom, and I'll share something from my book. And then I'll have the tales from the vector, and I'll do the 3-card readings. But because I've been so busy, I just didn't feel that I would give a guest proper attention and preparation. A lot of people put a lot of work into what they do, and I want to make sure that when they come on the show that, I have, prepared myself properly. So things will go back on April Fool's Day. I'm going to be launching most of, I'll be done in the foundation building stages. But I was really thinking about this because so many people right now are changing their locations, or wanting to move, relationships, careers. A lot of people's careers changed. Some people prefer the way it is now. Some people don't like it at all. Some people are having a lot of difficulty adjusting, and others are thriving. It's I feel a sign of the times is that it's really challenging right now to feel really optimistic about business, etc. But for someone like me, I was raised at a time, like, I was on the tail end of the baby boomers, and I was raised in a time where I literally left home at 17 and moved to Alberta from Saskatchewan and applied for 6 or 7 or 8 jobs with a high school education, and took the one managing a store in the mall. 3 days later, I had a job there. And then I had applied as a letter carrier for the post office. And that was quite a production because to get a job with them, you have to go through a series of interviews and that. And I ended up being a letter carrier. And, so during that time, it was very easy for someone that did not have like those letters after their name, that was dedicated to doing the work, that wanted to get ahead, that really was interested in learning. And I was just thrilled. I was like, Mom, they're letting me manage a store in a mall. And like in those days, you had to go and make the deposit and, and all of that and take it to the bank and all, like it was all, none of it was really that, not like now where it was all computerized. And so, being 18 years old and being given like, okay, here, you're going to manage the store and then becoming a letter carrier. And, I moved from, during that time, I moved from Saskatchewan to Alberta to Ontario. Then I lived in Australia for 1.5 years. I had the freedom to be able to do that. And I had the ambition many times, like in my 20s, I decided that my career was, I didn't know what I wanted to be. And I was frustrating my parents very much. So I said, go to work. I said, I want to travel. Give me the money that I want, that you save for my university education, and I'll use it to travel. And they said, no, you go to university or we'll use it to travel. So I ended up working quite often through my 20s. I'd work 2-3 jobs. And then I would go and I would go on a big, 10 countries in 21 days, Kentucky tour, and then come back and go back to work really hard again. And I did that for a decade. So I think I was up to around 40 some countries by the time I was 30. And that was a goal. And when I look back on it now, I was glad that I had that opportunity. And I feel, and I want to talk about this going into, when we're going to take a short break now, but about being very careful right now to be fair with our younger people that are at that stage in their life. To be very gentle with them, because I realized like, wow, I was very fortunate, very. So we'll come back, and 1-800-930-2819. I'd love to correct some energy for you. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Network, and we are live on Facebook today. I'm just so pumped. I'm talking about launching my new program, which was just a thought in my head. 1 year ago, on April 1st, I made the conscious decision that, yes, I'm going to begin to attempt to take all of my information that I used to teach at live events, and I am going to put that online, and I'm going to do it in a way that people can just pop in, do it for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on their comfort level of where they want to be, and move into this. And so I'm really, really excited to be bringing this program, because I've been working on it. I thought, we've been under this isolation, and I thought, if I'm going to be living like this, I'm going to get things done. And so I'm getting all sorts of things done. I'm learning all sorts of new things. It's been so challenging. And then I remembered, I wrote a book about that. Challenges are possibilities in disguise. And that's the short story I wrote in the Life Sparks. And this is like really easy to forget right now, that challenges are really, they're possibilities. And if we take those possibilities and we don't, like Olivia and I were just talking during the break here, that, what am I wanting to focus on? I want to focus on the future. I want to focus on being a part of a strong future. And this has been my goal all along, but now this is like, there's so many challenges that it's important to recognize we're all under a great deal of stress, and in a different way than we ever have before. And we are actually mirroring back and forth to each other how upset we are. And quite often, this is what's coming up for a lot of people right now. If we all, if people don't, if you want a strong future, then participate in it now. People that, I mean, because I've seen this, and I actually wrote about this in my book. This is what's really, really funny is I'm going through my book to rewrite it. And I was on, like, I was reading, what the hell was I writing, 7 years ago? But not the meat of the book, not the meat. And so I've got, like, I had a wonderful person on the show, and I'm sorry, it's Dave. I can't remember your last name. He's from Gatineau. And he was laughing and saying that, really a lot of books that people put out that are doing like speeches and all of that, speaking of speeching, is that those are like glorified business cards. And, I laughed and laughed, and I thought about that. And I thought, yeah, that's that first 80 pages and back 2 or 3. And I have changed so much since I wrote that book. But the stuff in the meat in between, I'm rewording it now because I'm a better writer, but it's the same as what I was getting. And it's very interesting because when I work with energy like this, I actually get my information both logically. I ask a logical question, and then I put it out there, and I wait for the answer to come in. And I'm not interested in doing the same old recycled thing. I'm not interested. I'm not doing the same old radio show, not doing the same old anything. Not interested. I came to a place within myself where I recognized that we could do this back and forth for another 100 years. And we could blame this generation, we can blame women, we can blame men, we can blame people for the color of their skin, or we can look in the mirror and recognize, that's part of my course is karma. And there's 11 karmic spaces that Majai Sati Bhagavati identified. And those 11 karmic spaces, we all have probably been familiar with them at one point or another. And how can I get angry with anyone when I know that you're just reflecting back to me what I don't like about myself? That's what people need to understand. And so it's like the things that we really don't want to be when we see someone else being that, or the things that we've done that we want to change or whatever. We can really, when we look in the mirror, we see exactly a reflection of ourselves. But when we look at a photograph of ourselves, we are looking at an image. And so that's the ego. And so this is what's so fascinating about people could blame. You could blame and blame and blame and blame and blame. And it's not like, and I see people doing that, and I'm like, why don't we just change it? Like, we're in the age of Aquarius now. Let's just change it. And so that's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on with people, like I worked with a client who is now in his new home, which was just a figment of his imagination a month ago. He's demolishing it right now and having fun. I worked with a client in Germany whose daughter had a sore ankle, and I worked on that because she was going for tryouts for a sporting event, and it came up. It wasn't anything with the ankle, but it was the second time she's done that. So she had a weakness to trying out. And so then she'd injure herself. So now she's running around and it hurts, but she's skipping, happy. And they have postponed the tryouts for 2 weeks. And so that's an energetic shift. I'm just checking. Do we have a caller calling in here?
Yeah, we've got a caller on here. Do you want to take her now?
Yeah, because like I'm getting that I'm picking up some of that energy,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wanted to finish this for the collective before we take the caller. Is it's never what you think it is. Like the problem, if you logically like chase the problem and chase it, and you're trying to be right, that's a karmic space, the need to be right. And many of us have a need to be right to survive. So this, I mean, in school, you need to be right or you don't pass the test. But there's also another need to be right, which is not an empowering one. And so we all can go back and forth through these. And that's why I'm saying a lot of people have had the rug pulled out from underneath them. And I, in particular, feel the weakest. And when I say the weakest, I don't mean that these people are weak. But the number one weakness is we took, excuse me, the prime of our crop about ready to go out and live, and they're held back. And maybe they're going to be better people. We don't know. Maybe we were too, the pendulum swinging, and maybe we went too far. We've gone too far. It has to come back this way. We need to be balanced. And so, people are getting slapped around right now. Karma's a bitch, but you cannot pretend anymore that you don't know that things like in the world are happening, that there are still starving children. And this is something that we have to face as humanity, I feel. So we'll take the caller. I think we have a couple minutes. We'll find out the issue and then we can work on it after we come back from the break.
All right. So we have Trish from Penticton. Trish, you are on with Colette Marie Stefan.
Hey, Trish.
Good morning, Colette.
How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Like as I said, it's been very challenging, and it's important right now. Stay focused on moving into the direction that you want your life to go in. This is a blank canvas for many people right now, and I've talked about this in the classes. Is people, because I'm getting before I even get your issue here, I just want to strengthen this for you because I feel like this coming together. I could feel your energy coming in before when we were talking about when I started talking about this. So it's really important to recognize that every one of us has to be able to look at ourselves and be able to say, okay, like what can I do differently now? That like, could I maybe just purchase this instead of that and vote with my dollar? Can I support my local business? These may seem like very small, insignificant things, but they're very powerful when people live like that and support their communities. So what is your issue today? Like I recognize there's a lot going on for a lot of people. Are you going through a hardship right now?
Many hardships, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if everything is affecting my kitty cat, my oldest cat, Sky, but he seems to be throwing up way more than he used to.
Okay.
And I know he's getting older.
Okay, so give me on a health, get a number in your head for his health, and now get a number for where you think he is now. What number is he at health wise? Can we skip the break,
Um,
Olivia, so we can work on the kitty
Yeah,
so that
totally.
mine doesn't throw up?
Mhm.
She's sitting right here. Okay, so
he seems to be probably about, I would say probably about a 7 right now, but um,
how old is he?
yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I think he's 16.
Yeah, he's dehydrated. He needs more water.
And he's been diagnosed with kidney
Yeah, they're always
kidney
diagnosed
something.
with that. Like you can, like cats have like cats are not like dogs. They cannot go for long periods without food. Like if they're not eating, it's not like it's a bad, like
Yeah,
they can't go. So my cat Pearl also went through this, but it was a combination of several things. What people need to understand, okay, so I'm getting that what you are, because you've done this energy work, what you are picking up is the fact that this cat is actually not this is partly physical in this cat because he's older, and cats need more water when they're older. So what I do now is I leave little bowls of water around my house to
yeah.
encourage
But
to encourage like with Pearl, to encourage her to remember to drink. And I got a running
what's that?
fountain because is
Oh,
that what
nice.
you're doing?
We've added another water bowl to the bathroom
Yeah,
because
that's good.
we kept noticing after we had
And
a shower, we go in and lick the side of the tub, right?
yeah. So
So I
he's
just threw
missing
I
he's missing an element
he drinks a
is
lot of
coming up.
water.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. That's like, but like that's a kid. Like you have to understand, 16 is old.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this, I thought all cats live to be 20-ish if you really, if they're, if they're looked after and they don't, but cats have 9 lives for a reason. And so you're totally correct. There is a dehydration problem in this cat, which is kind of usual for cats when they get to that age. Some people find that if you go and I found it very helpful for my cat that I went and I got the kitten formula that you can get for when a kitten is, when they lose their mom, they have that at the pet stores, and mix that up
So
so
the
that your
milk.
cat is getting the nutrients. And so give
Okay.
your cat some kitten milk to help rebuild the nutrition.
Okay.
And my cat loved it, and you have to get a whisk because they don't like when there's powder lumps. You know how cats are. So, and so I just want to get a number for you now when you think about your cat, because I perceived a change.
Definitely a 5.
Yeah, I'm getting 3. So it's kind of like you don't want to face the inevitable. This cat is old, and this cat is like a child to you, and you're concerned that
Well, first
yeah,
kitty.
yeah, yeah. This is the hardest part of owning an animal. This is my intent card in my deck. Yeah, I haven't. It's coming up that this cat has had a very full life, and for you, I know how much you love your cat. And so if you're going to focus the last time of your cat's life on the sadness of it leaving, when it's managed to have this beautiful life, it kind of seems sad, doesn't it? That's the sad.
And well, I'm just trying to focus on keeping him healthy for as long as
Yeah,
he
exactly.
wants
And
to
so
be
that's
here.
what's bothering you. So now the throwing up and that cats do that typically. But when they're my cat Stella, if there's psychic energy in my house that does not belong in this house, she'll projectile vomit across the room.
And that's kind of what I was wondering as well, because
if like children under the age of 10 and pets pick up our shift. So
yeah,
it feels like, and for my cat right now, Stella, it was, I couldn't figure, she was crying, she was acting like, oh, like, oh my God, it's horrible energy, like she just wouldn't stop. And I'm like, and then I realized, oh, there's a crane because there's construction and it's close to the house. So I took her outside. This is the beauty of being able to learn how to energetically tune into an animal and energetically shift this. Because I realized, oh, she thinks the crane is a monster. And she watched it across the street for a year. And she thought, oh, she got comfortable out there in a run thinking, oh, it won't ever come across the street. And now they're widening the bridge. And so it's right here, right close. And she's just shaking. Oh, Colette, it's a monster. And I'm like, no, it's a crane. See, I'm not afraid. It's a crane. And she's like, oh, it's just a crane. Yeah. It took her about a day and then she calmed down. But if I would have thought, oh, this cat is throwing up because she's sick. No, she was upset because she thought there was a monster that was going to come and get her, which she's a cat. She doesn't know that a crane, because it's moving sometimes and sometimes it's not. And now they parked it there and it's sleeping outside of our house now, waiting for her.
Yeah.
You see? Do you see how a person's mind, if a cat's mind can do that, what are we all going through? That's what I'm saying. It's very important to recognize anything that upsets you right now has the potential to escalate into a major upset very easily. But in actual fact, if you just take a deep breath, you recognize that there's your beautiful cat and he's coming to the end of his days on this planet. And my God, he's had a good life. I don't know, Pearl might have had a little competition. I took the entire summer off and carried her because she couldn't walk. She wasn't strong enough to, when she got really weak, but she still wanted to go outside. She liked to do her rounds.
Yeah.
So I wrap her in a blanket and take her on her rounds and take an hour and a half every morning so that she could sit on the dirt and do her thing. And people were like, whoa, it's just a cat. You're nuts. No, this is my cat. And she did a lot of energy work for a lot of people. And she deserved to have a beautiful summer. And the day she went, she was wrapped in love. And I held her and kissed her. And my daughter came to see her. And we kissed her and told her, anytime you want to come back in our lives, you're more than welcome. Because death and birth are part of life. Now, I understand because I love my animals. And the hardest part of owning a pet is facing this. Oh man, it's so hard. Having said that, it's kind of like hanging on to, I think this is so beautiful because this is what I was wanting to talk about. It's like hanging on to your cat, how he was like 3 years ago. I love him how he is now, don't you?
Oh, she's super snuggly.
Super loved.
Just,
Let's face it, we're cat ladies. That's why I only have one. Don't send me a box of kittens. You know what I'm saying? So like you love, that cat is one of the most fortunate animals on this planet.
Next to his brother.
Yeah. So do you ever, like, this is kind of funny, but in a way, and this comes up like, and I'm like, you understand, there's no judgment here, but you know how I said that sometimes we get like in a karmic space where we're kind of like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Well, there's a karmic space of jealousy, and you're actually jealous of both your cats. You wish you could be them and that they were you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
See, you don't even
Sleep
argue
all
with me.
day.
They're looked after.
No, sleep all day, and somebody takes you out for a walk on a leash.
Is that what you want?
They
So,
clean up
yeah.
after you.
Yeah. See, so do you understand that there's a lot of mixed and combined emotions in here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And, so yeah, you're doing everything you can. You're looking after, like, this isn't a senior citizen now.
Yep.
And how beautiful that this, like, cat's revenge. Here's this cat who's been loved its entire life, without a doubt, since you've had it. And it has like all this love. And look at all the people pouring the love out to it on the radio show right now. Because we know what it's like. Our hearts go out to you. But I've watched animals do this for very long periods of time. Like 2, 3, 4 years. It's really easy to sort of get used to seeing them not thriving if you're really busy. But
Yeah.
with COVID, we've all been home more. So we're seeing, oh, that animal is actually asking for this, because So that's the good part of this. So we're just going to strengthen the good, the bad, the ugly. What number are you at with your cat?
Definitely a 2.
Yeah, it's perception, pussy willows.
And it's interesting that, like, I can feel the corrections because I've had a pain knot in my tummy for quite some time, and it's just starting to release now.
Okay, so what I want you to understand here, okay, is that this cat is so loved. So loved. And a lot of people are upset right now. There's a lot of people finding out a lot of things about people that they didn't know because it's coming out. And that's just the way it is when we're really busy and then we have time. So it's important for you to also find out who you are inside right now and recognize that this cat, like 16, how many years has this cat been with you?
Since he was 3 months old.
Yeah. What a lucky cat. You see some cats out there, hey? Can you imagine 16 years of being treated how you love that animal? I'm jealous too. So you see what I'm saying? So we clear this karma around the jealousy. That, like, it's kind of sad that a human being could be jealous of a cat, but I am right now. I'm just teasing you. All right, this is a matter of perception. This is Colette Marie Stefan. We're on Transformation Talk Radio. We're live on Facebook, and we'll be right back. I see we have other callers. We'll be right back to take another caller. Hi, this is Colette Marie Stefan. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. We're live on Facebook. And Olivia was just pointing out that my co-host here almost stripped my set of pussy willows while I was here, but I was in the zone. So, and we were energetically shifting cats and having a happy home. So I thought, hey, she was doing her thing there. So I'll have to watch that later. Yeah. So, this is really important to understand that a lot of us right now, like in pets show us this. Pets, um, their lifespan is shorter generally, like unless you have a parrot. Like I talked about that raven that comes here. He comes here every morning ever since I rescued him, like every morning. And it's not a regular raven thing. It's when they regurgitate food for you, when birds do that and their feathers all go and they do that thing and they regurgitate food, it's a sign of great adoration. So when it'll come there and it makes this and it laughs and laughs and laughs, and unless I go out and say good morning to it, it'll be out there for half an hour. As soon as I say good morning to it, it flies off. And so but I read up on them, and I used to have parrots, and they're very similar. Actually, ravens in many ways are smarter because most ravens get to be free. Birds don't belong in cages, so they need to be free, and that's kind of like the theme of this show. Our animals. You could have a dog, and it could just be a dog that's just out in the yard and and it's protecting the place. And in many countries, they don't dogs are filthy in for religious reasons, etc. So not everybody likes dogs and not everybody likes cats or whatever pets. But the one thing we can all agree on is that when people bring them into their home and have them in their home and look after them and talk to them and love them as a family member for like 16 years, that is longer than most people are married. That's longer than most, than most people do anything. So that's a very significant relationship that quite often people are ridiculed for having. And quite frankly, it's way easier. I've had, lots of dogs and cats and birds, and around here I have all sorts of animals, raccoons, everything coming through. And quite, these animals, when you have a dog is high maintenance pet. That's this is in my program also. They need consistent love and care, and every day. And if someone provides that for them for 16 years and does it from their heart, this is a very significant relationship, and probably more significant than the relationship that they have with their neighbor or maybe even their husband. So I'm just saying, not for most people, hopefully, but a lot of people get to the point where it could get really overboard, just like it gets overboard when parents have babies that don't have fur. I think it's natural almost. You see it all the time when parents have their first child, all their brains fall out of their head. Suddenly they don't remember how to do anything. And that's why, it's very significant to understand this. This is a woman reaching out, and she's talking between the lines. But what she's saying is, I'm scared. I love this animal like a child, and I can see, and that's a very different place to be in. And especially, and I've talked about this on this show. I've had many pets myself, and it's challenging. And so, but a lot of people are going through that with people right now, and a lot of people are going through that in so many different ways. This fear of survival, and that's why it's so important right now. If your life is changing a lot, that's the one thing that we really can count on, is the change. There's always going to be change. Things are always going to be spiraling and spinning. And there's always going to be change. That can bring comfort, just knowing that change, if there wasn't change, probably, like if you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes and you don't see the ceiling, that's probably not a good sign. So, I mean, I'm talking if you're laying face up. So what I'm saying is that it's not about perceiving things as good or bad so much, but it's more about dissecting and getting into purposeful communication with people that have that also want to have strong futures for their children. People want strong futures for their children. And this is something that I've been telling people that's very significant, because I get a lot of people calling me that when they're having trouble. And, like I said, like the reason they do, I'm starting to understand, is even though I've had like a very challenging time myself, I had a thought to do something productive. And now look, I have like 2 programs running. I have the 3rd one coming out on the 1st. I have everything lined up for the next. I'm going to start my YouTube channel next. Like that these were just thoughts I was thinking about. And there was a bazillion, if bazillion is a number, thoughts that came to me about all the reasons why there's no way I could possibly get this done. And it is, the 64 paintings are done after 14 years. See, I'm used to it. I'm used to setting my mind and then testing, how am I going to get there? And putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes to be honest with you, it's really not fun at all. But, the truth is funny though. So we have to take comfort in these, we don't have to, that's the issue. We don't have to take comfort, and we don't have to be upset. It's our choice. It's our attitude. It's, I could sit there, I could have sat and cried I haven't been allowed to do live events, which now I'm happy about, because I'm so excited about my online program. Took me a while to get there though. And so you have to understand, when we're energetically shifting, there's no time. And so on the physical 3rd dimensional world, the energetic shifts maybe that took place like 6 years ago, that shifted the perception at that time. It takes sometimes that many consistent steps of action to actually get it done. I couldn't just sit there and go, oh, look at the program's magically here. I wish. Actually, I don't. That wouldn't have been any fun. So, challenges are possibilities. And when you energetically shift them and you really commit yourself to it and say, okay, I decided, I could retire. I could stop talking about this shift. I could not give a shift, but I do. And I love having a beautiful world. And I feel that we're very blessed to be here at this time. And I always, I want to be part of the change that is strong moving into the future, so that there's no little children anywhere that don't have food, or animals or adults or anyone, and everybody's like, there's more than enough here. So let's just strengthen that. And, thank you so much. And look for the program. The landing page is what I'm working on next to finish it. And then I'll get it to my team. They'll get it up. And I want to say thank you so much, Transformation Talk Radio. I love my new jingles. And thank you, Olivia. And thank you to the audience. And thank you for calling in. And lots of love to that beautiful, beautiful feline. Bye for now. We'll be back next Wednesday, 8:00 a.m. Pacific time, live on Facebook and right here on Transformation Talk Network.